"Thank God you're here," David replied. "I'm First Officer David. Captain Miller collapsed about 10 minutes ago. I think he has food poisoning. The plane is flying fine, but I need someone in the right seat. We have about 90 minutes left to Orlando." Jessica quickly reviewed the situation. The aircraft was a Boeing 747, which she had flown hundreds of times. The weather was clear and all systems were operating normally. The main challenge was that Captain Miller needed medical attention and they needed to maintain proper cockpit procedures for the rest of the flight. "Have you contacted air traffic control about our situation?" Jessica asked. "Not yet," David replied. "I wanted to stabilize things first." "Let's notify ATC right away," Jessica said, taking the co-pilot's seat. "They need to know we have a medical emergency and that I'm assisting as a passenger pilot." Jessica quickly familiarized herself with the specific instrument layout of this particular aircraft. Although she was experienced with Boeing 747s, each plane could have slightly different setups. She checked the fuel levels, reviewed their flight path, and confirmed their estimated arrival time in Orlando. First Officer David contacted Air Traffic Control. "Flight 732. We have a medical emergency with our captain. He is unconscious and unable to perform his duties. We have a qualified passenger pilot assisting in the cockpit, requesting priority handling for our approach and landing in Orlando." Air Traffic Control responded immediately. "Flight 732. Understood. Medical emergency with captain incapacitated. Confirm you have qualified assistance in cockpit." "Affirmative," David replied. "We have pilot Jessica Lee assisting as passenger pilot. She is fully qualified on this aircraft type." "Roger, Flight 732. You are cleared direct to Orlando International Airport. We will have emergency medical personnel standing by."
Before we dive in, drop a comment telling us where you're watching from and hit that subscribe button because I'm sure you don't want to miss another amazing story.
Meanwhile, in the cabin, Maria was trying to keep the passengers calm. She explained that they had found a qualified pilot among the passengers and that everything was under control. She also asked if there were any doctors on board who could examine the unconscious captain. Dr. Chun, a family doctor from Chicago, came forward to help. She examined Captain Miller and confirmed that he appeared to have severe food poisoning, but was otherwise stable. His vital signs were acceptable, but he remained unconscious and would not be able to return to duty during the flight. Back in the cockpit, Jessica and David worked together to prepare for their approach to Orlando. Jessica handled the radio communications, while David focused on flying the aircraft. They reviewed the weather conditions in Orlando, checked the fuel calculations, and prepared for a standard approach and landing. "How are you feeling about this approach?" Jessica asked David. "I am confident," David replied. "This is actually easier with you here. Having another experienced pilot makes all the difference." Jessica appreciated his professionalism. Even though she was technically a passenger, David was treating her as a full crew member. They worked together to run through all the pre-landing checklists and procedures. As they began their descent toward Orlando, Jessica made an announcement to the passengers. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is pilot Jessica Lee speaking from the cockpit. I want to update you on our situation. Our original captain is receiving medical attention, but is stable. First Officer David and I are working together to ensure a safe and smooth landing in Orlando, though we expect to arrive on schedule and emergency medical personnel will be waiting to assist our captain. Thank you for your patience and cooperation." The passengers were impressed by Jessica's calm, professional tone. The businessman later said he felt much better knowing there was an experienced pilot in the cockpit. The young mother was relieved that her baby would be safe. The elderly couple held hands and said a prayer of thanks that such a qualified person had been on their flight. The approach and landing in Orlando went perfectly. Jessica and David worked as a team, communicating clearly and following all standard procedures. When the plane touched down on the runway, the passengers applauded. They knew they had witnessed something extraordinary, a sleeping passenger who had awakened to become their guardian angel. After the plane parked at the gate, emergency medical personnel immediately boarded to take care of Captain Miller. He was conscious again, but still very weak. The paramedics confirmed that he had severe food poisoning and would need several hours of medical treatment before he could recover. As passengers began leaving the plane, many stopped to thank Jessica personally. They were amazed that someone who had appeared to be just another tired passenger was actually a highly qualified pilot who had helped save their flight. "You were sleeping so peacefully in aisle 8, said Alex, the college student who had been sitting next to her. "I never would have guessed you were a pilot. That was exactly what I was hoping for." Jessica replied with a smile. "I just wanted a quiet flight to visit my sister."